Hello, everybody. Welcome along. We are live here on YouTube and on Twitter. It is the Ask Away live stream show, a live Q&A we're doing on the channel in the post-season once per week. Now, I'm on a very, very new type setup here. Literally everything is new in this room. So do let me know if you're in the chat, if you can see me, if you can hear me nice and clearly. We're going to settle down. Hopefully, we're going to get some of you guys in the chat involved and do some questions. And hopefully, it will be a good time had by all. As ever, you can support the channel here via Super Chat. You can subscribe on Patreon. But the most important thing is to get your comments in via the live chat over here. And we will hopefully do so. Assuming I've set everything up, yes, we have some comments, fabulous. Then we will be good to begin. What I'm going to try and do, I got in trouble on a couple of live streams of going really, really slow and then being about 20 minutes behind the comments for trying to answer too many questions. So I'll try and keep up, and I'll give a shout out for questions every now and then. I've already done so. And we've got some questions from the YouTube community, but we will dive straight in. And hopefully everything's working okay. Yeah, everyone's saying they can see and hear me. Will I still do Leeds content? Yes, Ollie, we'll do the dearly departed shows. If you've noticed in the transfer updates, I am doing the 3 relegated teams from the Championship and the 3 promoted teams up from the Championship. How the dearly departed shows are going to look, I do not know yet. We just feel that out, I think. But what I'm suspecting is in the same way we do a Championship review and preview, we'll do a dearly departed review and preview each game week, assuming I can fit this all in. Fingers crossed I can. I think it'll be worth it. And perhaps when 2 of the dearly departed teams play one another, perhaps maybe I'll go along to the game, assuming stadiums are open and we can do such thing. So just a quick reminder, the dearly departed teams next season, we're definitely going to do the Premier League. So we'll be doing Sheffield United, Aston Villa, done a lot of work on those 2 teams when they went up in 18-19. We'll be doing West Brom, Fulham and Leeds as well. So those would be my 5 dearly departed teams. If it goes well, we can have a look at... already tested my memory, Charlton, Wigan and Hull in League One as well. Thank you, George, for the confirmation, and Will, that you can see me, and Jason. I believe Jason signed up on Patreon. I think if that's the right Jason, thank you very, very much. Hey, everybody saying hello in the chat. Matthew, of course, is getting the Jesus comment out of the way earlier. George says, what do I make of Bristol City? I'm not sure, George. And it's a very, very broad question, but something doesn't seem to be right there at the moment. I've seen Sean's super chat. Don't worry, I will come to that as the next question. I'll come to Sean next, but we'll just talk Bristol City first. Thank you, Sean, for the super chat. I think what George is referring to is, why did it take 5 weeks to hire somebody? Why has Corey Smith been allowed to go out for free? Why are the fans not very happy with Steve Lansdowne and Mark Ashton and the ownership there? And I'm sure you would have seen the rumours about Chris Hughton showing up to the interview, assuming he was going to get the job. I'm sure we heard about that. I think Dean Holden's got a couple of months to get things together there, else that could be a bit of a crackpot season, couldn't it? So I'm a little bit concerned about Bristol City at the moment, but you know how these things play out, don't you? A few wins, 2 points per game at any point in the first 10 games for 3 or 4 games, and everything seems to be hunky-dory there. So that would be my thoughts at the moment on Bristol City. There is Sean's super chat. Sean, thank you so much. Sean says, hello, missed a few lives, but keeping up on the tube, marching on together. He's another one that wants me to continue with the lead stuff. Of course, we'll do that in Dearly Departed. Just a quick one. If you saw a couple of videos for a few days last week, I was unable to make any money from YouTube because my AdSense account got disconnected. I have to actually say YouTube and Google that I've heard kind of they're impossible to get in touch with. They're actually very good. I applied for a new PIN number. They immediately sent it to me. And I literally 2 days later, I tapped the number in and we're all good to go. So thank you. Sean is the first super chat back there since, I wasn't demonetized, but since the account got disconnected. Let's have a look here. Can you see the real me? Is that the Who? Dan Bob? Send me lines from songs in. I'll try and sing them too. Alistair says Reading is set to sign a Jaria after fans saw that he was training with the first team. Yeah, I think that deal's been slated. I think they did a really clever loan with Ajaria, Reading, where and we talked about this in relation to some of the Leeds deals and how they wish they would have done it with Ben White. But I think a lot of Championship teams now are going to push. They're going to say, look, we're taking your guy on loan. We're going to give him first team football. Let's agree a price, and if we want him, we're taking him. And agree the price quite high, but that doesn't matter. If they have a really good season and they're proven, you want to take them, don't you? So which club do you think has done the best business so far, says Alex. Difficult one to say. I know Alex is a Millwall fan. They've taken Ryan Woods and Troy Parrott. Obviously, Norwich have brought in 6. I think Forrest have had a good week, haven't they, with Lyle Taylor and Tyler Blackett coming in. Matthew asks, indeed, just about that. Thoughts on Lyle Taylor to Forrest? I'm very interested to see how they use Lyle Taylor, because my criticism when I did the season review on Forrest was, did they have depth below Joe Lolly and below Lewis Grabban? Now, if they take Lyle Taylor and they say, right, Grabban, you are the main guy as it stands, and Taylor, you're also playing for that. But there's one position, one striker position, and you're probably both going to get minutes in every game. It might be that Grabban comes out after 90 minutes and you get the stoppage time, or it might be that if it's not going well, Grabban comes out after an hour. But I would like to see Lamucci be brave like that and say, no, it's still going to be one main striker with Lolly or Amiobi, whoever's in those other positions. And I just hope he doesn't change his system, because Taylor will give them depth. But if he kind of puts him out of position off to one side or tries to change the system and goes for a front two, I don't know whether that will play into the strengths of what they did last season. So it's going to be interesting to see how Forrest use Grabban. Chris asks, thoughts on Saman Ghoddos joining Brentford? Now, you know me. I am not going to BS anybody on here. So I'm going to look him up. Saman Ghoddos plays in the French league. I know nothing about him. Transfer Market says a value of just shy of 3 million. All I will say is I know about Brentford's recruitment. If I don't know about this player, that he's probably good if Brentford are looking at him. Let's just go with that. I'm going to keep going down. I can see the end of the comments here. You can get your comment read straight away if you do go for a super chat. Liam, I have answered. If you spool back in the chat, I've answered about Bristol City already, so I'll leave that one. Sandra, what chances of Henderson returning to Sheffield United? Can I answer your question by asking you a question, Sandra? If they sign Darren Ramsdale, does that mean that that's not going to happen now with Henderson? I assumed it was going to come back, but if you're going to drop 18 million quid on a goalkeeper, which we've heard, then we will see. Mr. Dora's in. Wonderful. Oh, a super chat here. El Loco 20, £5. Thank you, El Loco 20, who I assume is a Leeds fan. Ben, I'm afraid you were dominated by Shaylee Bakes in the kit reviews. Oh, you can't argue when it's your missus, can you? She just absolutely S-housed me, didn't she? So there we go. Ruddock Leeds. Ben, I know you're an Ipswich fan. Do you have what you consider to be a second team, a team you have a soft spot for? I've got a soft spot for a lot of teams without ever calling them second team. Obviously, Luton are just down the road from me. Millwall, I've had good times out. I loved following Sheffield United in the promotion season. Enjoyed following Leeds this season. There are plenty, put it that way. I wouldn't ever go. I think you have one team you support, and I wouldn't ever go down the second team route, let's just say. Darren, Top Man Ben, going to still watch your channel, even though Leeds are going up. Thank you, Daryl. Please stay tuned. Wolf. Now, Wolf's done a good job here because he's having a pop at me, but he's also plugging the kit video. So we did a kit reaction video with the illustrious Shaylee joining in yesterday on the new kits that have been released. Obviously, within about 10 minutes of uploading that, as always happens to me, Birmingham City released their new kit, didn't they? So we got most of them, put it that way. But all good fun. You can check that out on the channel. Will says, based on a decent transfer window through adding squad depth, where do you think Blues will finish? Are our players underperforming, or is the squad just a bottom half team? There's a lot in there, isn't there? I don't think Birmingham's players are underperforming. I think there's been a kind of realisation since the FFP thing and the deduction of where they actually are. I think they've got a lot to thank Che Adams and that development and Jude Bellingham. I think that was probably what helped get Karanka through the door, wasn't it? So we'll have a look. I've done the recent transfer video today. I think George Friend is a good signing, but they probably need a few in, and they need everybody to get behind Karanka's system. And I think the way forward for Birmingham, knowing how Karanka works, is pragmatic, being hard to beat, and working from a solid base. So, that would be my thoughts on Birmingham. Philip. Hey, Ben, what do you think of the prospect of Ipswich losing Caden Jackson to either Birmingham or Coventry because he refused to sign another Ipswich contract? I can see it happening. I've heard rumours about Jackson and Norwood from Ipswich both going out. It'd be interesting to see Jackson have another go at the Championship. Obviously, it was horrible last time he was up. But, I'm never scared of a club selling a player. That's fine. Even the greatest clubs in the world, even Manchester United, sell Cristiano Ronaldo to Real Madrid. As long as you invest the money, the danger at Ipswich is not buying and selling the player. It's reinvesting the money and it not being an ever shrinking thing of, you have this many assets and you sell, but you reinvest less than that. And it doesn't make more than the sum total of what the asset was. And that only tends to go one way, really, doesn't it? So there we go. Wigan midfielder Joe Williams, linked with Bristol City and Borough. Yeah, it's sad what's going on at Wigan, though, literally. And I mean, that's a newish guy. It's been there one season. Joe Williams, someone will fact check me in the comments, no doubt. Just like any saleable asset is going out of Wigan at the moment, with Gelhart already gone, Kiefer Moore has gone, Anthony Robinson linked away, Jensen Weir has gone. Everybody has gone. Right, we've got a super chat, so I'll bump that right to the top of the list. Thank you, Wheelock Young Team, who's definitely super chatted before. So thank you, sir. Very, very kind. Hi, Ben. Which past Championship player would you like a Netflix-style documentary on? I'm thinking Ross McCormack. Ross McCormack would be good. By the way, I've done a review on the Anelka documentary. Check that out. Obviously, the one that springs to mind is Adil Tarab, doesn't it? And just footage of Warnock and Tarab working together, and Tarab being belligerent, let's just say, and Warnock using all his management charms to get the best out of him, and then Sean Derry and Clint Hill complaining about him, but Warnock keeping everybody on side somehow and getting the best out of the team. So, I know we do see a bit of that, don't we, in the 5-year plan. But, I think Warnock and Tarab would be the one. And thank you, Wheelock Young Team, for your super chat. Very, very grateful for that. Stephen says, Mollenby came out and said he doesn't want to play under 23s, hopefully going back to Millwall. I wonder, Stephen, can they get him full time? Millwall is set. They're in a good position. They're well run. They've improved on the pitch. They've got a manager that seems to fit now. Let's love to see Millwall just, really step up to it this season and push up, become at least a comfortable top half team that looks like they're not there because they're having a good season. So be interested in that. Spooks, the ghost lad with the Undertaker from wrestling in his profile there. What are my thoughts on the new Ipswich kit? I really like the new Ipswich kit, actually. The home kit. I'm not terribly fussed about the away kit, I have to say, but I love the old school badge from the 80s. Yeah, I am gaping a bit, so we'll do that up. I think someone's already complained about my lack of chest hair. There we go. I like it very much. El Loco says, thanks for the channel. I'll just flash up again. El Loco with a £5 super chat. Thank you so much. Thoughts on Ivic as Watford head coach? I've done a video on that, Matthew, but I'll give you my quick thoughts now. Prayseed, Ivic. Look, if he can cope with the Championship, he looks like he's got the tools. His record is insane in Greece and in Israel. Whether he had the best teams there, whether he had a big advantage doing so, then who knows? But I quite like the hire. Looks fairly progressive, and you just got to remember with Watford though, it's the Pozzos, isn't it? It's the Pozzos. So we'll see. Loco asks, where do I get my shirts from? Great shirt, that one. I had a little splurge the other day. Shaylee went to get a new car. She's got herself a Mini now, and we had to go up to where one of our friends lives in Staffordshire. And we went out for lunch afterwards. The first time to actually go to a restaurant in about 4 months. Went for a little Italian, and might have had a couple of wines, as I do, because I wasn't driving. So Shaylee said, "Oh, instead of paying me my half of the lunch, why don't you buy me stuff in the clothes shop instead for the same amount of money?" So I'm like, sounds fun. And we ended up in H&M, I think it was, and I got a haul. I got about 4 shirts as well, all in the under 10 quid rack. Brilliant stuff. So yeah, H&M, I think this one. Fashion advice from me on a football channel. Shocking. What a time to be alive. Liam says, am I doing a fantasy Premier League? Get your comments in on this, actually, whether you want this or not. And I'll probably get the comments in a minute. So just put fantasy Prem, yes or no, or whatever. A lot of people have asked. So if I were to put this out as an idea that I do a weekly fantasy league update, I'll show you who I pick for my team. We can have a league amongst the subscribers, and I don't know, maybe on a Thursday morning or something, I'll do my transfers, tell you who I did as my transfers, and we can see who wins at the end of the season. Maybe we can come up with some kind of prize or something for everybody. So I would like to do that. Let me know if you just type in the comments here, fantasy league, yes or no, whether you join in, whether you watch the video or not, because I know I'm now trying to go at this full time, but I don't want to promise myself to do too many videos. But yeah. Ben, what do you think your own team are going to do this season? Well, I'm doing the Blue Monday podcast straight after this. I'm going to be on there at about 8 o'clock. So I'll keep my powder dry for then. But looks like they're bringing some people in. I think Stephen Ward's coming in. Keeper from Northampton is coming in, and a forward from Pompey is coming in. So encouraging, but then like I think Philip said, they'll probably sell Caden Jackson very soon, and etc. Flynn Downs, Luke Wolfenden. So lots of people saying yes to the fantasy league. Okay, let me make a note of that. So the plan would be, if we do that, we'll have a Benjamin Bloom football channel. Just look in the which way do I have to point? That way. Look in the top corner up at that. What Shaylee made for me there. That is the Benjamin Bloom football channel crest. Look at that. Fabulous stuff. So yeah. So I think the plan would be we'll do a fantasy league. Let me get it all set up, and we'll see where we go from that. So Nicholas says, George Friend, great guy, helped my club Doncaster loads. Forgo 50 grand owed to him by Doncaster. I wish I could afford to forego 50 grand. Well done, George Friend. Thank you for answering my question, says Philip. You're welcome. Tony Vodka, what's your thoughts on Ramsdale to Sheffield United for 18.5 million? I'm just surprised, because I thought the whole thing would be on Henderson, but I'm also impressed that Sheffield United haven't stood on ceremony. They've got up in maybe an unlikely way, and they've taken their chance. They've really invested well, and whatever happens to Sheffield United over the next few years, they look so much stronger than just a couple of years ago. So I like it. I like it a lot. Hello, George. Welcome along. Jimmy Kebe would be a great documentary. There we go. Any transfer news at Albion? I think George might be able to take that in the chat there. Can England win Euro 2021? Well, of course they can. Will they? I don't know. I think there's prevailing questions that need to be answered through this season. We've all seen the schedule come out and how mental it's all going to look. So I think a lot's just going to depend on player fitness, who's available, who's knackered by the time you get up to the tournament. And I think there might be a few, put it that way. Jim says, where would I like to see Mick McCarthy go next? I would have liked to have seen him at Bristol City, I have to say. Would have been interesting to see what a old school kind of pragmatist manager was going to do. I've seen that super chat come through, Tony. I'll come to that in just a sec. So yeah, I would have liked to seen McCarthy a team with some money just to see if he still had it. But it looks like with all these appointments, with Ivic going to Watford and Tyndall being promoted, and surely McCarthy interviewed for Bristol City, didn't he? Who knows? But yeah, very, very, very surprised that he's not got something going on there. Thank you, Tony Stellafella. Love it. Tony Stellafella. Thank you. £4.99 super chat. Brilliant stuff. Right, let's go back up. Nicholas says, who's my Ipswich hero? Eric Gates, Paul Mariner. Nicholas, I'm a bit too young. So my Ipswich hero is Marcus Stewart, who's pretty much my favourite player from any club, but I would have loved to have seen that Bobby Robson. Team, Liam, talking about Bristol City. What do you make of Mark Ashton? Seems to come out when things are going well, but disappears when things are going bad. It sums up a lot of chief executives or chief operating officers or MDs or whatever he calls himself there. But yeah, like I said, I don't know, 12 points from the first 7 or 8 games, and everyone will be happy at Bristol City. So we'll see how it all starts under Dean Holden. PS Gaming says, how do I see Fulham getting on in the Prem? Hopefully they've learned some lessons, and good luck to Scott Parker up there. And I'd like to see them sign Harrison Reed now they've got up. Bailey says, thoughts on the Sterling miss? God, it was horrible, wasn't it? I'd assume his confidence is torn up after that. Well, he seems fairly bulletproof confidence-wise, Sterling, doesn't he? What I will say, and I said this on my video earlier, there seems to be just a real imbalance when it comes to Sterling. Either people criticise him way too much, or people are so scared to criticise him. It's okay to criticise a world-class player for missing an open goal. I saw all this stuff on Twitter saying, oh, here goes everyone to have a go at Sterling. No, it's reasonable criticism. What's unreasonable is him being made a scapegoat for loads of stuff. So, yeah, that was my thoughts on Sterling. So, animation with the Oxford badge. Can you see Gareth McCleary coming back to us? Do you think it would work out? I know McCleary was on a lot of money at Reading, wasn't he? So, who knows? Everyone's taking pay cuts at the moment, so he could do indeed. Tips for the Fantasy League players. Well, I can only talk about the players who've just been promoted. So you know, always look for players who are kind of out of position. I don't know. Maybe Jack Harrison will surprise people for Leeds and be fairly cheap and get lots of assists. Fulham. Fulham's a tricky one, isn't it? I don't know. Maybe Joe Bryan, an advanced fullback. I'll have a good look about FPL. Lots of comments here saying yes to the FPL stuff. Where will West Brom finish next season? I think they be okay. Got exactly the same question twice, have we? Yeah, we have. There we go. Has this transfer window been more quiet than usual due to COVID? QPR have made one signing. No, I don't think it's been too quiet. It's just rumbling now, isn't it? I said on my video today, what you're starting to see now in the transfer window is the desirable free transfers are getting swamped up now. So you'll get this. You'll get the free contract, the stuff that was already all sorted, go through first. Then you'll get the desirable free transfers. Then I think clubs are going to have a look, and you're waiting for that, what I call that cascade effect. So you're waiting for a team like Bournemouth now, who have taken 40 million for Ake. Can they reinvest that back into the Championship? Because obviously Cardiff have spent 2 million on more, but it's presumably going straight to Wigan's creditors. So you're just waiting for something to give it a push, for a good player from Team A to go to Team B, and for then Team A to need another player and replace him with a good, and then everything starts moving. So I think we'll see it soon, but I don't think it's quiet. I think it's been pretty good, I have to say. Pretty good. Oliver says, happy I never got a season ticket now. I think he's saying after only 25% allowed in and I can't sing. Well, I'll take my 1 in 4 chance of a ticket and not being able to sing. I just want to see a football match now. Katie says, I think Dunkley is a good signing for Wednesday. God, I missed that one. Another one out from Wigan as well. Yeah, sad. George says, like the new graphics. Thank you. So just a quick update on this. I went all in, as the people on Patreon know, and I have a new computer here, which I'm looking right at. I've got a new webcam, but I'm not using it for this stream because it's so good that the streaming technology can't keep up. A very lovely subscriber bought me an Ethernet thing. So I've got a thing plugged into my wall now that means hopefully these streams should be a bit more stable. Basically, I've gambled my life on this working now. So I need your support. The government grants come out tomorrow. So I'll apply for a government grant and yeah, we'll see how we go. But thank you all for your support and thank you for being here now. Nearly 100 of you on a Sunday night. Daniel says, did I already answer your question? I don't know, Daniel. I can't remember. These things move so quickly. Oh, was there a super chat I missed? No, I read Tony's super chat, didn't I? Yeah, good. Yeah, if you want to go straight to the top of the line, super chat away and support my pursuits as we go over 100 watches. EFL tried to relegate Sheffield Wednesday. Yes. So the tabloids have been going with that today, that the delay and the Independent Disciplinary Commission was the only reason that Sheffield Wednesday got away with the 12-point deduction being moved to next season. I will need to do some reading on that. So leave that with me. I'm not going to give a view until I've done the reading and checked the sources on that, because the Sheffield Wednesday issue is a very emotional one for certainly for Charlton fans and for Wigan fans and for Sheffield Wednesday fans. So we'll have a look there. Stephen asks, how do I think the salary cap in League One, League Two will affect the so-called big clubs? Well, of course, it's going to affect them, isn't it? Any hard salary cap is an evening, not as in evening night, but an evening up of the playing field in what's supposed to be a pyramid. So, for example, I personally think, and I would say this, obviously I've got a bit of bias because my team's Ipswich, and they are one of the bigger, they're one of the big sort of Oxford, Sunderland, Pompey, Ipswich, Peterborough, the bigger teams in there in League One, just on turnover and attendance and things of that nature. So I think at the heart of it, there's a contradiction in terms between having a pyramid and trying to flatten it off and having a set wage cap. So maybe it would have been better to keep it relating to turnover. I don't know. Look, if I was one of the other 20 clubs, of course I would vote for the hard salary cap, and then I would feel that I could go up against the clubs that could catch, big attendances a little bit better. So it's a difficult one, isn't it? Really difficult one. Sean says, I got so used to getting my championship info and banter from this channel. Strange not to have a dog in the fight. Hooked to Bloom and the followers, so I won't be giving up. Good one, Sean. And Sean's been very kind on the super chats. Speaking of which, DJ Samuel there with a £2 super chat. Thank you so much. How do I think Wycombe will do next season? Well, the advantage that Wycombe have over other teams that have gone up is they have a very defined style of play. Nothing was even expected of them in League One, and they managed to get out of it. So I think with that being said, if they stick to their pattern of play, that will be their best chance. Maybe if they can get some decent recruitment done, then that would help. It's tricky, isn't it? Because Rotherham stuck last time they were up to that sort of pattern of play, direct, kept it small, didn't overspend, and it wasn't enough in the end. So you just got to hope, and I hope I'm not speaking out of turn here, that other things can help teams out. Because if you look at the 3 relegated teams last year, they were all basket cases, weren't they? Wigan had the ridiculous ownership change and administration. Charlton had 3 owners through the years, and Hull have been pulling out money ever since. So what I'm saying is, if you can just be stable, if you're Wycombe or Rotherham or Coventry, for example, and 3 other clubs do crazy mental things with their ownership. Remember, Sheffield Wednesday are on minus 12 points as well. You never know. So, but good luck to Wycombe. Right, let's have a little scroll here. Who's done the best transfer business so far, says Oliver. Well, like I said, it's so hard to tell. I've been impressed with Norwich getting it all done early and 6 players, and I think they'll do more as well. And I think Forrest have had a really good week, but it's really too early to tell so far, isn't it? Let's have a look here. Right, I think I'm caught up here. Eli's back. Eli, the Barnsley fan, will be very pleased to know that Barnsley's new away shirt was very popular in the video on reviewing the strips for the new season. Noel says, thoughts on George Friend? Yeah, I've done a video on this. I like the signing. A lot. Free transfer, so no fee. Massively experienced in the Championship team of the decade. He'll suit Karanka's style of play. He's worked with Karanka. Look, when you bring in a player, you want quality. You don't want to spend too much. If you can get experience, great, that you know is going to go well. And you're looking for the player to be able to follow the instructions of the manager and to be able to work well together. And you can tick off all of those things. Okay, he's 32, but he'll definitely do a job for 2 or 3 seasons for sure, won't he? So, thoughts on Ben Rama going to Leeds? It's gone quiet a little bit, hasn't it? The whole of Brentford's gone quiet, in fact. So, yeah, I've not heard anything. I think all the Leeds eggs are in the Ben White basket at the moment, aren't they? Do I think Ipswich could benefit from a technical director with a head coach instead of a straight manager becoming very popular? Well, that's what they've tried. The only issue with Ipswich is you could put in, I don't know, the greatest technical director in the world, but if you're going to sell all your players and then be given less than half the money to reinvest, it's a broken business model, isn't it? And also, if you are a sporting director that doesn't have autonomy and you're allowed to actually do what you want and everything's micromanaged by the owner who's so scared of losing any more money, then you're in trouble, aren't you? So, what would you rate Forest's window so far? I think Forest have had a good window so far, haven't they? No one's gone out yet. We might expect one to go out for a fee if they can raise something big for maybe Worrell or Lolly, the two I can see, if they do need to raise money fast. I'm sure they'd like to get Carvalho off the books and get anything like the 13 million euros they spent on him. Taylor is a good signing. I think Blackett will be a squad player. I think Ribeiro will keep the left back position there at Forest. But I'm sure Lamucci will say, look, if you train the best and you get in the team and you play well in the team, you stay in the team. So I'm sure that's how it'll work with Lamucci. So yeah, I think Forest have made a good start. And as I say, at the moment, we're seeing the desirable free transfers going first. People like Che Dunkley, Stephen Fletcher, Morgan Fox, Blackett and Taylor have all gone. So I think they've had a good start. We'll see what happens, though. Excuse me. Will asks, there is a championship version of fantasy football. Is there? Will, can you DM me on Twitter or on Instagram? Can you DM me a link to that? I'd like to see that. I think that would be great. Liam says, I don't know if you've seen this, but Mark Ashton said they chose Holden because he is human and the fact he knows everyone at Bristol City, that's the only reasons he gave. Interesting. Liam, did you hear the rumours about Chris Hughton absolutely tanking in the interview? Don't know whether they're true or not, but there we go. Let me just have a quick scroll down. No super chats. Oh, yes, there is. Jay Filbsky. Thank you, Jay. Very kind. Who is that in there? Who's that Norwich player? I can't tell me who that is, Jay. Thoughts on Norwich being the pride of Anglia? Well, you've done me a super chat, so I have to read your super chat out. Yes, Norwich have been, far and away the better team in probably the last decade. My thoughts on that are that Ipswich have been on a steady decline. Norwich have made some very good operational decisions and been very ruthless at times, particularly when they've needed to replace managers. I thought it was all going to even out, and then they had that crazy season with Stuart Webber and Daniel Farker. So, yeah, of course, Norwich have had it over Ipswich, and you don't get 2 leagues in between the two without one club doing way, way better. So, yeah, it doesn't make me happy to say that as an Ipswich fan, but of course I acknowledge that they've been better. I hope that answers your question, my friend. Liam again, sorry. Corey Smith was so sad. Yeah, good signing for Swansea that. Again, talking about desirable free transfers there. Needown says, personnel question, Ben. Do you see your YouTube channel as a way to get into television? I'm not knocking you, mate. Just curious. Seems like a good idea. I don't really know, to be honest. It's very, very difficult. I really, really like what I'm doing at the moment. I'm free to engage directly with all of you guys. There's nobody telling me what I can and can't say. There's nobody telling me, oh, Ben, it's too analytical. Oh, Ben, it's too silly. Oh, Ben, cut your hair. Ben, don't wear that shirt. So that's all good. that said, if TV offered me lots and lots of money, I'd have to think about it. But I think honestly, the best thing would be if I could start to raise a decent amount of money doing it this way, keep the creative control here, keep the interaction with all you guys, and be able to really do what I want. Look, I know beggars can't be choosers, and I don't have a job, and whatever pays. So we'll have a look. If I get offered stuff, I'll have a look at it. And look, no doubt I'll be asking you guys in the chat what to do. So the truth is, I can earn money quite quickly being a musician. So what I would say is, if TV can't pay me any more than doing a couple of quick corporate gigs as a musician can to keep things tidying over while I'm building this, and it's not fun, then I don't really need to do it. So we'll see. But no, it's not. There's no kind of plan, and really there was no plan to ever do this full time. But COVID's kicked in and it's gone quite well. So, but yeah, no, not a out of turn question at all. SCFC Dalgano, opinions on Stoke this season. Mikel likely to be the fourth signing tomorrow. Form been good since Christmas. Yeah, all good points. Dalgano. I've just been burnt so many times with Stoke. They've replaced the manager. They've made what I feel are good signings. I think you've made the key point there. At least now there's probably 3 or 4 months of mid-table or higher form that you can actually hang their hat on. But Fletcher, Chester, and Fox, that's good, and you can see he's going for character, isn't he, rather than anything else. So yeah, looking really, really good. But we have said that before. We have said that indeed. A Wes Houlihan. There you go. God, Wes Houlihan. Sick of the sight of him by the time he quit. Always used to punish Ipswich. There we go. Eli says, another Austrian with Europa experience coming into Barnsley, looking promising for us. Where do you think we could get within 3 seasons or so? I would say, Eli, that you can definitely climb. I think we need to see the attendances build a bit at Oakwell. Whenever I go, it does seem to be fairly sparse on the ground. They need to get everything going that way. And as I say, with there's 2 ways of doing this. You either have to do utterly brilliant coaching and improve all your players up. We've seen a bit of that at Leeds and Sheffield United and the like in the past couple of years, where it hasn't been signings. It's been players coached well and improving as well. But everybody who's gone up has sold a big player. Everybody. Literally everybody. Leeds and Chris Wood and Ronaldo Vieira and Jack Clark, Sheffield United and David Brooks, Norwich and James Maddison. I suppose Villa didn't really, did they? Oh no, they brought in a load of money, didn't they? But it might need Barnsley at one point to generate that. For example, if Connor Chaplin has a season like Jed Wallace just had at Millwall, then maybe you have a really high saleable asset and you can start to edge up. But I think they're going to be a lot of fun, Barnsley. Put it that way, should be good. What do I think of Charlton's new signing? Says James. Have you seen Alex Gilby play? Yes, I saw MK about 3 or 4 times last season, because obviously I'm in Bedfordshire, and yeah, he always looked good. The others, Connor Washington, that should really work out well in League One. I think he'll work well for them. Let's have a little look here. Katie, who's always giving us these sad updates, sadly, about Wigan. 2 letters were written about our owner's massive loan against the club, and the EFL said, speak to the club. The loan against the club effectively made it free for them to buy us. We've seen this a few times now, haven't we, with owners coming in and it's either a loan or it's against a future parachute payment or something, and the money coming back. These people need to put the money in up front, don't they? And the EFL and the Premier League need to stop it happening, don't they? So get some merch sorted. I'll buy it. Connor in full swing looking at it. Give him a shout out. Hi, Connor. I did go on Connor's show just before the season ended. Yeah, we'll have a look at some merch. I have to say, Mally, one of the subscribers, made me this, he says, trying to reach it, made me this BB mug, which is pretty smart, isn't it? Just for, by the way, if you want to buy me anything for the shelf, not too big, because there's not much room, with your club's crest on it, then please feel free, DM me over on Twitter, and we'll pop some stuff up on the shelf if we can fit it. That might be a good fun thing to do through the new season. Right, let's have a little bit down. Where am I looking? Any thoughts on who will be relegated from the Premier League to the Championship next season? God, no idea. Way too early to say, isn't it? There must be a basket case in there that will go down. Who knows? Hopefully, our dearly departed will do nicely. Let's just say. Taxman says, "What is YouTube's percentage cut of your income?" Do you know? I don't know. What I've done with YouTube is I've never done a payout from them. I've let it all stack up. I'm going to have to do the first one in October with the Patreon stuff. It's all just sat there waiting to go for what's happening right now. So, yeah, I'm sure they'll take a nice cut, but we'll be okay. Mike, Angus Kinnear said on the Extra Ball interview, that's great, isn't it? That these podcasts are now starting to get the CEOs of clubs. Brilliant stuff. Brilliant stuff. Goes back to the question I got about, do I want to go on TV or not? I think people are getting such good access now, just on YouTube and on podcasts, that this is fab, isn't it? Leeds want to add 4 or 5 to play in key positions. They have a list of 5 in each position, and they know they'll have to spend around £75 million. There you go. So that would be, what, about 15 million quid to play? No, that'd be 90 million, wouldn't it? We'll see. Stephen, Borough linked with Israel international and Maccabi Tel Aviv player Dan Glazer. I've heard he's quite decent. Thoughts? My thoughts on that, Stephen, being very cantankerous, the Maccabi Tel Aviv manager has just taken over at Watford, so you might have some difficulty going against that one now. So what do I use to edit? Do you know, I just started a new program called OBS. I downloaded it yesterday. I'm on StreamYard at the moment for live streaming. Hopefully everything's okay and we are not buffering at any point. Looks like my lips are a little bit behind, so hopefully we'll catch up. Right, let's continue the scrolling. What's the most crazy goal celebration you've seen or been involved in from the stands? Oh, God, too many to mention. God, back in the day for Ipswich, we used to have some brilliant away days under Burley, banging in the goals, having the ball every game. Those were the days, weren't they? There was a quite mental one I was next to. It was the last minute Aston Villa versus Leeds, and Kemar Roof scored, and lots of flares came out of the ground. All the Leeds players ran into the stand. That was, I wasn't in it. I was in the Villa stand a little bit further along. So yeah, maybe that one. John Walt, will Trump win the election this year? We try and make this a politics-free zone, but he might well do, mightn't he? We might get 4 more years of Trump, and look, it's up to the Democrats, have I got that the right way around, to actually do something that people like. And sadly, it looks like in Britain and in America, there's a lot of disaffected people who feel that the only thing they can do is vote Conservative or, centre or centre-right, because they don't have a democratic liberal option anymore. So it could happen. It could happen. Will Blackburn Rovers sign Philip Hoffman? I don't know, but do you remember Philip Seymour Hoffman, the actor? It'd be interesting to see who Blackburn bring in, won't it? First managerial casualty next season. Well, the Bristol City fans won't want me to say this, but if the prevailing atmosphere at Bristol City doesn't improve, then Dean Holden doesn't want to have a bad start, let's just say. Are the town going up? Oh, God, I hope so, James. God, I hope so. Fingers crossed. Liam says, I've seen the rumours. I'm not sure if they're true, because if Houghton really wanted the job, he would have done everything to get the job, fully behind Dean Holden. Yeah, you can't imagine a guy as professional and experienced as Chris Houghton tanking an interview, especially when they're out of work. You'd imagine the level of study that they do on these teams before they go to the interviews is massive, don't you? So you skipped my question, Ben. There you go. You're back, Daniel. Good. I asked, who do you think will be safe from the 3 teams promoted, and who do you think the 3 teams promoted in the Championship will be safe? I think Leeds have the most chance of being safe because their pattern of play is more established than the other 2. I think West Brom have got a good manager who can recruit well. He needs a good window for them to be safe. Fulham have got an inexperienced manager, and a less defined pattern of play. So I'd put the odds in that order. I'll probably have that completely the wrong way around. In terms of teams that have gone up, again, Coventry have got a good pattern of play. And then it's just club size, isn't it? Sometimes the Championship for the likes of a Burton or a Yeovil is too big. And you wonder whether Wycombe might fall into that category. And they just, they give it their best. They play well. They have a good window. But they can't stop up. Rotherham might stop up this time. We will see. Thoughts on Kostas? Anyone say that? Tsimikas going to Liverpool. I think what he means with the Championship hat on is that means that Jamal Lewis won't be going to Liverpool from Norwich. Matthew says, not a question, but loving the content lately. Thank you, sir. And you can support the channel here with Super Chats and going and subscribing on Patreon. We've got 2 tiers on Patreon now. A $3 tier, which is basically just a donation, and a $5 tier where you get the Patreon exclusive Q&As and vlogs. Do YouTube take more than 30% of my income? No. Thoughts on Lyndon Dykes to QPR? Again, sorry, let me just do a quick research on this. Again, I'm not going to BS anybody on here. Lyndon Dykes, Livingston. Accept record bid from Championship. That's 8 minutes old, that headline. Brilliant stuff, Matthew. On there, we have a super chat from Archie. Let me just go down and find that. Love the content as always, Ben. We'll see FA Cup replays scrapped permanently after a season without them. And would you like to see them go? Oh, yes, will we see? So, yeah, we know that the FA Cup replays are gone. I think what it's proved is the calendar was completely stacked full, wasn't it? And losing that 4 weeks has been a really, really big deal. So I think maybe we might see them go, mightn't we? They've gone from the League Cup, haven't they? So, and do we want more games or less games? The sponsors want more games, don't they? But I'm sure the players don't. I think a lot of the fans don't. You speak to Manchester City fans, and they can't afford to go to all the games anymore. Have to pick and choose. So tricky. Right, let's go for another scroll here. Sloth, who has signed up on Patreon. Brilliant stuff, Sloth. Always a great subscriber there. Had an alarm set for the start of the stream, but fell asleep. A nice little Sunday siesta. Some good business by Stoke, already adding to a talented squad on paper. Is this the year? Is this the year that Stoke don't, finish in the bottom half, for goodness sake? I would hope so for their sake. Surely now they're going to be upwardly mobile next season. Surely. What do I teach, says Matthew? Well, I don't teach anything at the moment because I don't have a job. But I teach piano. I'll teach piano privately, probably from September, and we'll start to see how much other work I have to do on top of this. I'm having my pronunciation corrected. Maccabi, not B. Maccabi. It's the same thing, doesn't it? Maccabi, not B. Who knows? Anyway, I'm not Israeli. I can't do Israeli speak. Ben, you should check out the Jan Arger-Fjortoft interview about his time at United under Howard Kendall. That sounds good, actually. Taking Blade to Isle of Man and walking down team coach in his pants. Lovely. I used to hate Jan Arger-Fjortoft. He always used to do well against Ipswich when I was a bit more of an emotional, anxious football fan, let's just say, but a very good player. I will check that out. Right, let's keep the scrolling going. This is Luke. With crowds set to be reintroduced in October, but with the rumoured restrictions on away fans, do you think lower non-league teams will benefit in terms of attendance? I wonder if they will. Far be it for me to try and second-guess the government or second-guess COVID, because both are impossible to guess, aren't they? But I don't understand why they would have home fans and not away fans. I guess they know the area better. They'll be able to turn up earlier without travelling. I don't get the difference. I don't know why you can't just have a quarter of the amount of away fans as well. But hey, we'll see. I think it's very much signalling, isn't it? Oh, look, we're being careful. We'll do careful stuff first because we don't want it to get worse. So look, if I'm going around Hobbycraft with the missus in a mask, I'm sure I can sit 3 seats away from someone in an away end at a football match. But we'll see. It would be good if it helped out the non-league and the lower league teams. Maybe what they need to do is they need to do deals, and they need to say, look, if you've got a season ticket for whoever, Luton, and they're playing away, and there's a team down the road that's a non-league team, come in for free with your season ticket to the non-league team, and put a donation in the pot of whatever you want or something. But we'll see what happens with this fans in grounds, won't we? Daz says, Ben, do you follow the Europa League and the Champions League? I'm following it in the football updates videos. So they come out each morning, hopefully by 9 a.m. But normally after the fact, I'm pretty much spending all day making content now. So by the time it gets to the evening, close season, I'm kind of tapping out and watching TV with the missus and then getting back on it early the next morning. So I haven't actually been watching too many of the games, which is a shame because I missed 10 goals in Bayern and Barcelona. But check out the football update videos each morning that I'm doing to see. El Loco, I've already said the Quality of Madness needs to be on the shelf. Do not buy me the Quality of Madness, El Loco, because if I bring up my Audible here on my phone really, really quickly.
Lot was more interested in books and the law.
There you go.
He enrolled himself in the University of Buenos Aires.
Lovely. So I've already got the Quality of Madness on. I haven't got around to listening to it yet, but I will. So very kind, but no one buy me the Quality of Madness because I've got an audio book of it. In fact, books wise, anything that I can get on Audible, I've got a subscription on there. Hopefully, I won't have to discontinue that. Ben, I have a question. How come your channel is a Championship channel and not a League One channel, considering Ipswich are in League One? Well, when I started the channel, Ipswich weren't in League One, so there's the simple reason, really. So I followed Ipswich in the Championship, in there for 17 years, weren't they? I was doing the Blue Monday podcast, which was just an Ipswich-only podcast. And then I started doing YouTube for Blue Monday. Then I branched out and started doing YouTube for myself. And then the only way to branch out for that was to do other Championship games. So that's why it's a Championship channel. Obviously, it was a big conundrum when Ipswich were then relegated, but I built up too much stock in the Championship to then stop doing it and move on to League One. And frankly, it's difficult. The lower down you go, the less size of clubs there are, the less people there are engaged, the less people there are to watch. Frankly, that's the long and the short of it. So I've stayed doing the Championship. I'd liken it to building up a business. I don't know, you sell fishing rods and all of a sudden your fishing rod supplier stops. Do you then start selling barbecues when all your customers want fishing rods? So I've kept doing a Championship and it's great. And I love it. Fabulous. Moise is an Arsenal fan. I'm worried we could be the new Leeds. What do you mean? What, as in going down to League One and nearly going bust and Ken Bates buying you? I don't think that'll happen. I think Arsenal might be just a bit too big for that. But are Arsenal a laughing stock? No, of course they're not. Arsenal are gargantuanly giant, aren't they? And I've lived down in London and down in the south, Arsenal is huge, isn't it? I know you've got Man United and Liverpool and Man City up there and Newcastle in the north, but down in the south, it seems like 1 in 4 people seem to support Arsenal down here, don't they? So there we go. Do I think Leeds will stay up? They should do, shouldn't they? They really, really should do. Thoughts on Equatorial Guinea's Prime Minister resigning? Didn't Equatorial Guinea have that Eric the Eel guy in the Olympics? Someone fact check me on that. The one who swam the race and he was basically like me swimming and took twice as long as everybody else. But everyone got behind the Olympic spirit of him keeping going. Who do I think will win the Champions League? I'm not massively invested, but obviously Bayern beating Barcelona 8-2 surely puts them as favourites. Sean says, if football club doesn't comply with COVID regs, it is easy to shut them down, so it must be seen as to be doing the right thing. Yeah, fair comment. That's on the attendances. Daniel, isn't a question. Just wanted to say I'm happy that our Luton kit was liked in the reaction. Yes, I thought it was. He says in honour of the old 92-3 kit. I'm thinking, would David Priest have been wearing that one, and Lenny Lawrence, or David Pleat came back, but he came back to Luton a few times, didn't he? So yes. That's tremendous. Plucky's going to send me a Mick McCarthy bobblehead. If there is such a thing as a Mick McCarthy bobblehead, you can send me one. DM me and I'll send you my address. Outstanding work here. Have I done any gigs during COVID? My mate is lead guitarist for Whitesnake. Oh, Whitesnake UK tribute band. I was going to say, wow. And they still haven't got anything booked. I've got my first one, knee down, next Friday. There's a little private club. Not that type of thing, but like with a piano in, and it's very posh. And so that'll be my first one back, which I'm very, very excited about on Friday. Joe Williams to Bristol City or Borough. Honestly, if I lived up north, I'd go and work for Neil Warnock, I think. But we'll see. Money talks. What are the plans going forward for the Blue Monday podcast? The plans are that we're going to try and keep producing quality ITFC content. Obviously, the fan base, has been through a lot. We are working on. Obviously, I can go live on this channel, but what happened on the Blue Mondays? I used to put the podcast just down through my YouTube here, and then we split it off. Pretty much for when I was doing championships. I was a bit confused. It's like, why is this guy doing League One and then Championship? So in December, we started its own channel. That hasn't gone over 1,000 subscribers yet. So once we do that, we're going to try and do a bit more live stuff, Coxie, like this. We try and do the podcast live. I think that'd be great. But yeah, normal stuff. We've got a great team there. Really knowledgeable guys. Long may it continue. Our 6th year doing the Blue Monday podcast. Brilliant. Tough game for Man United against Sevilla, but if they go to the final, it would be karma for Inter to get there and Lukaku and Sanchez to score past them. Narrative everywhere. What championship players should be targeted by bottom mid-table Premier League teams? Well, as in ones that didn't get promoted or haven't just been relegated. Well, look, obviously the ones that are going to be targeted first are Nathan Ake's already gone, Callum Wilson, Darren Ramsdale, Timu Pukki, Emi Buendia, Max Aarons, and then Watford would be Ismail Sarr, Kapue, the midfielder, and they've got a very young winger, Andrade, possibly, Yao, I might have got that wrong, but those would be the first player to go. And then obviously Ben Rama is still here from Brentford. Maybe Lolly from Forrest, Eze obviously from QPR. All the names you're going to see in the tabloids for the next few weeks. Luke, is there a ground you're yet to visit? Looking forward to doing so when the current situation is yes. Wickham, I've never been, and Bournemouth, I have never been. So very much looking forward to going to those two. And Shaylee likes to go to Marlow. So if I take her for lunch in Marlow, then we could go to Wickham afterwards. And that means I can get to hang out with her and see a match and see a new ground at the same time. So plans. Do I think Bournemouth will get back in the Prem next year? If they don't make balmy, bonkers operational decisions, i.e. selling all the wrong players and sacking the manager after 15 games, they should do, shouldn't they? But you never know with the Championship, and it can eat up managers and spit them out very quickly, Jason Tyndall, if they are not ready. Is that Michaeli or Michelle? Who is getting promoted next season from the Championship? For me, Norwich, Brentford, and Cardiff. Okay, we'll go with Norwich, Brentford, and Cardiff. Then he's one step ahead of me. I'm going to wait until all the recruitment's done. Michaeli or Michelle, however that is pronounced. And it's weird, isn't it? Different country depends whether the C is a K or a Ch, isn't it? I'm sure someone will help me out. West Brom are after. Okay, you don't. Robinson's a great player and he should be valued way, way higher than what Wigan are going to get for him. Craig, I've already spoken about this in this chat. Soft spot, Luton, because they're down the road from me and they're kind of working class underdog, aren't they? Same as Millwall, really. And the ones where I've engaged with the fans, really. Villa, when they went up, their fans were great to me. Millwall, as I just said, their fans are always really kind. Have to say, every time I go to Norwich, I get stopped, I get chatted to, and people are really nice to me, I have to say. Leeds, it's great. I always get stopped at Leeds and Sheffield United. So obviously, I've got some really good memories of going to all of those places. Wolves was good as well, actually, the year they went up. Is it thundering where I am? No, but it was earlier. Should Britain still have a monarchy? Let's give that one a wide berth, let's just say. Right. I am going to say thank you. Connor says, wow, new camera, Ben. This isn't even the better one. Look on the other videos we've been putting up. Oh God, I can't get over it. What teams who have been promoted last 3 years, whose ground will you miss the most? He knows I'm going to say Villa, doesn't he? Because I've answered this one before. Yeah, love going to Villa. Nice journey for me, just up the M1. So superb stuff. Guys, there's an Ipswich question from Matthew. We're going to do the Blue Monday podcast, so tweet me on that. Judging by your shirts, please get Shady to do merch. Wow. A burial there from El Loco, but he did a super chat earlier, so he gets off. Right, guys, we've done an hour here. This has been really, really good fun. I love it. Hopefully, same time next week for Ask Away episode 3. This has been absolutely brilliant. If you want one sooner, we'll do it sooner. Let me tell you, the Skymen are coming on August the 27th, which is, what date are we now? 16th. So 11 days away. And right there, I will have Sky TV and a TV screen. So the watch-alongs are going to be bang in time, ready for next season. So that's going to be the real focus on the live videos. So we'll keep things ticking over, and we'll make this a regular weekly, a Q&A. But remember, we're likely to be live, 3 or 4 nights a week next season, aren't we? With the Friday night preview show, the Sunday night review show, and then if we do a Q&A segment as well, might not actually need to do a Q&A because we can do them in those videos. But I do think it's fun, it just being Q&A and there being no actual subject, and we can just talk about what the hell you guys want to talk about. And then that's good, actually, because I can get an idea of the prevailing mood within clubs and within the division, etc. Right. I am sweating like anything now. I haven't put the fan on because it's too noisy now down there. Oh, I didn't mention a new microphone as well, which you probably can't see because I've got it covered up. Can I get rid of that banner and you can see it? No. There you go. You see the new mic right there, which hopefully sounds good, and I can monitor myself in these little headphones as well. Right. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Super Chat is live again. Thank you for those people who've done a Super Chat. Brilliant. Really helps to support. 2 tiers on Patreon. $3 tier, basically just a donation. You're for the price of a cup of coffee, you can support the channel. Hopefully, we'll get there where I'm making a part-time living and then a full-time living. It's $5 tier on Patreon as well, where you get the Patreon-only Q&As, Patreon-only vlogs. While you're here, there's over 130 people, 150 for a lot of the video. Hit the thumbs up button right now, please. If you haven't subscribed, do so. That says 10,000. We are at 11,300 subscribers, which is amazing. Hopefully heading towards 12,000, 13,000 and up and up and up. Get involved in the comments. I don't need to say it to you guys in the live chat because you're brilliant, but generally this channel operates in a fairly adult way. So I love the fact that we don't get the normal nonsense that we get on a lot of YouTube comment lists here. So right, thank you everybody for watching. That was Ask Away episode 2, the Q&A live stream. It's been fabulous fun. I'm off to go and put some spray on and then go and do the Blue Monday podcast. So I will see you all very soon. Thank you all for your chats. And yeah, any ideas to me, get in the comments after the fact or DM me on Twitter or on Instagram, especially with those fantasy football ideas, because that sounds really good fun. Right. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Over and out.